What a great, great day for Terrebonne Parish, for the children of Terrebonne Parish, the parents of Terrebonne Parish. You know, this 140-acre facility, 7 years ago, they didn't have the baseball fields, they didn't have the lakes, they didn't have soccer fields, they didn't have the road all the way to the back. And we went on a mission to develop this 140 acres. In fact, we're in the process of trying to buy another 25 acres along Valhigh from the Danos family. We're actually working on it right now to extend it. And of course, we eventually want to put tennis courts, another 5 fields, baseball fields up to the front, all-purpose fields, and a swim meet building that a lot of cities have that we don't have, where where our children can go compete in swim meets. So besides the multi-purpose gym, but first of all, I want to announce the elected officials: Senator Mike Feasey, Tanner McGee, Jerome Zarang, Brett Alland, and Beryl Amity. Phyllis Peoples with Terrebonne General, the sponsor for the sports park. We want to thank Terrebonne General for their contribution and working with us. Nick Hebert with the Chamber, All South, Stevie Smith, Jay DePlantis, Kelsey Bourgeois, the HTSA members, Kristen McGee, Clay DePlantis, President, Holly Moran, Director, Grant Olivier. Our council members, without their vote and support, this would not happen. John Amity, Council Chair Jessica Domingue, and Darren Guidry. These people and the rest of the council were relentless for us to get where we were at. Besides Terrebonne Parish money, because we had capital outlay money. Then I want to thank Chris Pulaski, Cohen Guidry, Roddy LaReal, who runs a great program for the TPR, Scotty Dryden, Clay Narcan, Dean Schwest, Corey Henry, Steve Ponville, Jules Hebert, Dana Artigo, Brian Marceau, and of course the one with the money, Candace Malden. Thank you, Candace. She's the one that lets the money go out of the CFO division. You know, we've come a long way. This would not have happened. Now, this would not have happened if it wasn't for Tanner McGee. A round of applause for Tanner McGee, Mike Feasey, Beryl Amity, Brett Alland, and Jerome Zarang, who is over appropriations. We have finance on the Senate side, and Beryl is on appropriations. Without the monies they gave us and then Terrebonne Parish put up, we would not have gotten this $2.9 million facility, which consists of 2 full soccer fields with irrigation and drainage, sports lighting for the 2 fields. As you can see, very good lighting, excellent job by All South Engineering. So we're upgrading from our lights over here to the right on the little generators over here, so we're going a lot better lights. It will include a new parking lot adjacent to the soccer fields, 250 spots. And the contractor is Louisiana Contracting out of Thibodaux. Total project, $2.9 million. Construction is $2.4 million. And they've already started and we're moving along. This has really come a long way. You know, we're expanding, we're moving it along, and without working with the HTSA, they've worked great with us. And you know, we dedicated with Terrebonne Parish, when we're gonna build recreation bathrooms, we're gonna put air conditioning in them. We're gonna put areas to change babies. We're gonna build buildings like this that are representative of the taxpayers, that the taxpayer pay, and not build cinder block walls that were done in the past. I will not support a cinder block wall building. You know, we should have nice buildings, state-of-the-art buildings. You know, we just finished the bathroom At the adaptive park in Summerfield, we paid half, and Rec 2-3 paid half. And it's, it's air conditioned, and it's very, very nice on the inside, and representative of today's society. And I also want to thank Rec 2-3 when we built the baseball fields. They were here when they built the baseball fields, and they built the beach over here. And then we dug the pond, built the roads, the soccer fields. They built some of the soccer fields. So my hat's off to Recreation 2-3. But the parish took it over some time back, and we went ahead and completed it and dedicated the money. With that, I'd like to bring up Tanner McGee, who was instrumental in getting this done. I don't think he'd have got it done if his wife wouldn't have pushed him as hard as she did. I want to thank his wife. But with that, I give you Tanner McGee, pro temp of the House, Speaker pro temp of the House of Representatives, Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Thank you. I'm really excited for this opportunity to speak to you, but I'm really excited about the project. And to give you all a brief overview of what happened, this project pre-existed me being in office, but my kids play soccer, my kids play other sports too, and me and my wife travel around, and we've gotten to see what's available in other parishes, right? And especially in Broussard, in Youngsville, and seeing how those communities are growing, and they're growing around first-class recreation. And to be frank, we didn't have anything in Terrebonne Parish that matched that. And I think one of the things I love this place, my kids grow up here, it's my home. But one of the things we can get sucked into is being too parochial here. Too much about our little spot in the world. And we need to start focusing in on what we can do parish-wide that we all can participate in. And there's nothing better than recreation. And I want to thank people who helped us along the way, because I certainly didn't do it all. But having the background of seeing what else was out there and talking to Gordy and wanting to finish it, and talking to Nick Abear and Jason Bazeron at the chamber, talking to Darren Guidry with the council, all the councilors, Jessica Domingue. I mean, it was I'm not trying, John Amade, I'm not trying to leave anybody out. If I did, I just forgot your name. Everybody was pulling the same direction on this project. Terrebonne General, always a huge partner in recreation in this parish. Senator Mike Facey, as soon as he came into office, big support of this project. And of course, if I don't say it, I'm gonna get 5 phone calls when I leave. Former Senator Chabert was also a huge supporter of this project. And even, I'm not gonna exclude anybody, Michael Paularusa used to be on HTSA. Back when this project got started, he was deeply involved in pushing this forward. So literally everybody that I can think of knew this was a big, important project. It wasn't always easy. I remember when we first came in, the governor gave a speech, I think at the chamber, and Jason and Nick can back it up, saying he wasn't going to fund this project, is basically what he told everybody. And that was 7 years ago. Beryl Amade, definitely a huge participant in all this. And it took us 7 years to start turning that faucet on with a drizzle, Gordy. And then now we have it flowing at the state level. And I think we pumped about $4 million from the state into this project. And to me, if we can't have first-class recreation for our children, then I don't know what else the answer is. And it's something that everybody in the parish can use. But more importantly, when people are traveling around the state, it puts us now on the map, like Broussard and Youngsville, as an up-and-coming community for the people of Terrebonne Parish when they want to play sports. And hopefully, very soon, we'll have pickleball and tennis and swimming and everything else that they have, our kids will be able to do right here, because I will refuse to believe that our kids don't deserve what other communities have. That said, I want to thank everybody for being here, and I appreciate all the goodwill, and I look forward to seeing the rest of it turn out.
Thank you, Tam. Big round of applause. And also, I want to add that the road coming in that we're building over there, as you come in back to this new parking area, is built at a 5.3 feet elevation, and this is at 4.3 elevation. We're standing at 8-foot elevation. So we've built everything up now. This area is all under force pump. We put this in the force pump about 5 years ago. And, with that, I'd like to call up the chairperson of the council, Ms. Jessica Domingue. Very instrumental in getting this done.
Thank you, Gordy. I did not expect to speak today, but I am going to speak as a parent. I have girls that play soccer as well, and so this is very important for our children and for our youth, and quality of life is so important. And so just to have the lights is so wonderful. There's so many nights that we've played out here in the dark. And so, just moving Terrebonne Parish into the future, I think is so, so important. And we're moving into the future, this council or the next administration. And so I hope that we're able to continue to work on these projects and continue to work on quality of life in Terrebonne Parish, because that's what it's really all about, is creating an environment that our children want to stay and our grandchildren want to stay, and we have generations of our residents that want to be in Terrebonne Parish. So that's where we are, and I would just want to thank everyone for coming out here.
And this would not have been done without Miss Kristen McGee. Would you come say a few words, Kristen, please? I'm telling you, this would not have been done without Mrs. McGee.
Well, thanks everybody for being out here. It sort of makes me teary-eyed seeing it. No, I think I'm a typical parent who wants the best and the most for their kids. And so I literally woke up every morning, sometimes emailing Gordy or Debbie, Stevie Smith, and asking what the status of this project was. Oh, and also my state representative. I would email him as well when he was in Baton Rouge, because I would watch those appropriations meetings, and it just drove me crazy. So anyway, I don't know, it makes me very happy. But I do want Clay, just for a minute, to come. This is our new president, and HCSA really is on come just introduce yourself, because HCSA is really on a really exciting path forward because of this, because of a lot of different things. And I just want Clay to introduce himself and maybe just give a few future words.
Thank you all very much. So why? What is this going to do for the community? What does it do for soccer? Well, this is the first time in history that soccer players here have had lights. That cuts into training time. So we've had a disadvantage, and yet we've still represented it very well. If you didn't know, last year, the 2004 Blackhawks was the first men's team in Louisiana history to go to the national tournament. We finished top 4 in the country. So that's a big deal. There are, how many players do we have right now? About 1,200? So there's 1,200 active players just in Houma. So this has a massive impact. You're talking about the parents. That's, double that number. So there's a lot of people that are involved. Our tournaments bring a lot of people to this community. So this does a lot. So I really appreciate all the effort. I know Tanner and Kristen, Gordy, all you guys have done a lot. So, I'm very thankful for the progress that's been done. And the future of HCSA, we are going to make changes. We are going to progress this organization, just like Tanner's talking about the future of a community. Our organization is moving towards the future, and we're going to push it and make changes that are going to benefit our kids for decades to come. Thank you all very much.
And also, I want to thank Dean Schwess, who's been over this field. You can see how beautifully the fields are manicured and the yards manicured, and he's done a wonderful job. Let's give him a round of applause to Dean Schwess. He's really went up over and above. And I see Mike Toops over there, who's worked diligently at it. And with that, I'd also like to say that we're going to have 3 sand volleyball fields over here that I forgot to mention. They're going to be right off the road by the pond over there. And, of course, as you know, we got these fishing piers all over. And in fact, they just put in rainbow trout besides bass and besides brim that the people have been catching over here. And with that, I'd like to call up Councilman Darren Guidry, who this is his district.
Thank you very much, Parish President Dove. This is a great occasion, and I know Parish President Dove was very kind when he talked about 7 years ago. But I want to explain exactly what I faced as a councilman, and Parish President Dove faced as a parish president 7 years ago when we were sworn into office. What we faced was 10 half-built baseball fields, 4 half-built soccer fields, no money to finish them, and a recreation district that was really overwhelmed. So we had to rebuild the system. Fortunately, working together with the previous parish council and with Parish President Dove, we restructured Recreation District 2-3. We created an agreement that the parish took over the sports park from them. At the same time, Rec 2-3, the rebuilt Rec 2-3 worked together with us to finish the pieces that they were doing as far as the family day use area and those things. We were able to get that done. Then we were able to work very, very closely with our legislators, Tanner, Senator Fessy, Senator Alam, Representative Amadi, and Representative Zarang to make sure that we were top of the list when state funds came available. We used some parish funds to begin the process to keep it going. We fortunately were able to get some state capital outlay. We finished one of the fields. We finished the concession stand in what I consider an expedited manner when it comes to government. We then, of course, the trickle started. We then went on the boys' fields at the same time as working on the soccer fields. Now we have the next step to bring the lights, and we're doing the road, and we have the sand volleyball. The next thing we're going to work on is bringing tennis courts to the sports park. We're making it happen, but why are we making it happen? Well, because this government, and I'm talking about state and local government, as well as the Rec District 2-3, all worked together finally to get this done, and it took that happening. When did it begin? It began 7 years ago. We were really at a stalemate 7 years ago. And this is what we have 7 years later, and just imagine what we're going to have 7 or 8 years from now. We have something to be proud of. Does Homa have something to be proud of? Yes, and I consider this part of that. Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here. Ms. Duff?
And also, one of our council members that's here, John Amadei. John, would you come up and say a few words, please? He's really been very, very heavy into athletics, the recreation all over Terrebonne Parish.
Thank you, Mr. Dove. As I did my history and looked back on the beginnings of this park, I believe there was this guy who was a state representative that really kind of kicked the idea off. So, Mr. Dove, thank you for your vision. You know, one of the things you hear about now a lot is quality of life. And that's where this council has dedicated itself to work towards building projects that are going to enhance the quality of life. With people like Nick and the Chamber really kind of edging us on and pushing us on, Jason somewhere around here as well. You know, without the work of the whole community, we can't get these things done. And I just want to thank everybody for their participation and patience. But let me tell you one more thing. A lot of people compare us to Youngsville, which is a beautiful park. Ours is debt-free.
Here on the debt-free part, that's correct. Well point. And also, I want to thank Debbie Artigo. She fills out the names for me, and she never puts her own name. So, round of applause for Debbie for putting this on. And again, I'd like to thank Terrebonne General for their sponsorship on this, and plus Rouse's and a lot of other sponsors that have sponsored this park. And with that, we're going to go ahead and grab the gold shovels, and we're going to move to the groundbreaking. But as you can see, the construction has already started, and it's moving along quite quickly. We're trying to get it done before the summer, and it should be done before the summer. It's moving quite quickly. And thank each and every one of you, Tanner, and our delegate. You know, we have a delegation here that's all on money committees. They're on appropriations, Speaker Pro Temp, we finance, and so it's very important that we're on the money committees that are able to get the money, not only for this, of course, levees and floodgates, pump stations, roads, etc. So with that, let's go. We're going to proceed over to the soccer field with these big, beautiful lights that's already up, that was just put up, and we're going to go ahead and have a groundbreaking, please.